an oddball rectangle, a long rectangle. But I found loops are very forgiving. They really don't care where you feed them, a corner or the side. They're not real sensitive to height. And the pattern is completely unpredictable. It's this multi-point star. So kind of get what you get. Over.
Yeah, but they seem to work better than everything else I've tried, so that's why I just keep using them. I've got an off-center fed dipole that somebody bought commercially. It covers like 6 through 40, and it works okay. And I've got a 5BTV Hustler, and it's pretty piss poor for certain things, but it works, and then I do a lot of portable stuff, so I've got compromised antennas there. And I mean, you really, really tell the difference when you get on a loop and you get on a dipole and you get on all these other different antennas, and you just really see that it just, when it works great, and it really gets rid of a lot of noise. And even on the bands that it doesn't work well, it still receives really good.
Yeah, I find it very important to have multiple antennas to do A/B tests. It's surprising. You think an antenna is working just fine, and then you put up another antenna, and you find out it's really not working that well. Frequently, I'll talk to people who are running a G5RV, and it's their only antenna, and they say, "Oh, this is fantastic. This is the best antenna in the world." And I say, "Compared to what?" They've never compared it to anything else. I wouldn't be surprised at all if they put up an inverted V or a dipole and found that maybe that G5RV on all bands isn't the greatest thing in the world. Over.
It's a horrible antenna, in my opinion. I mean, it's better than nothing, but I mean, if you get an ICOM 7300, okay, and you try and hook that thing up to a G5RV, and I've seen this over and over. Oh, it won't tune it. It won't tune it. This thing's supposed to work on all these bands. Well, yeah, it's a compromised antenna. And Varney made that antenna for 20 meters. It wasn't made for all modes and all the different bands. It was supposed to work on 20 meters. It's a 20-meter antenna. But then you also have the NFED guys, and they just don't understand it. They're like, well, I made a contact. Yeah, it works, but it doesn't work great. And you don't know how good it works until you actually use a different antenna. And I mean, without something to compare something to do, we just look at what we have and we say, well, I've been making lots of contacts on this thing, so it must be good.
Oh, I'm with you, Bram. Exactly. I think, in-fed wires are highly overrated. I'm really big on balanced antennas. Yeah, I've tried a couple of in-feds and horrible RF in the shaft, and I'm just not pleased with it. So, if they would just put up a balanced antenna, just a simple inverted V or dipole or loop, I think a lot of their problems would go away.
I also think that another advantage of the loop is it's a terminated antenna. And I think with a terminated antenna, a ground system isn't really that important because you have your ground and your center connected together. And also, I don't think you have to worry about as much about static discharge. I had to put a shunt coil on my Hustler vertical because it was building up all kinds of voltage on it, enough to damage the radio. Years ago, when I was just getting started, I ran some verticals, and they really weren't very good. I'm not a vertical guy. I guess if you're on the beach in Florida, those will work pretty good. But over most grounds, verticals are not too hot. Over. Yeah, I just guy gave me one for free. I prefer to use a vertical when I'm mobile, and that's it. It's I can pretty much put up a loop anywhere. I mean, like literally, you could just take a loop and wrap it around a wooden fence, at 3 feet high, and feed it with some ladder line or coax or however you want to do it, and it's gonna work, and it's probably gonna work better than any of those verticals.
Oh, I agree. For 40 meters and 60 meters, I've got a called a maypole antenna. It's just an inverted V with multiple elements on it. And you space them around the compass. So, if you're running two bands, you put the two bands at 90 degrees and use them as guide wires. And it's a nice antenna. Fortunately, here in Georgia, we've got pretty good ground. When I was in California, the natural ground was very, very deep. There was no moisture in the soil. It wasn't very good. And when I moved to Georgia, the very same inverted V with a 40-foot mast worked just fantastic. So grounds do make a difference, ever?
Yeah, we've got the same kind of dirt here. It turns into dust. I try to make like a little path for the kids to ride their bikes in the backyard. It's just dust. It's like, it's not sand, it's not clay, it's just this garbage, and nothing grows in it either. If you pack it enough when it's wet, it'll get nice and hard, almost kind of like clay. I don't know what the hell it is, but I'm originally from Washington State, and I grew up on a 20-acre farm, so I know what good dirt is, and this is definitely not it. But it's, Southern California is kind of the same way. I mean, I've lived all over the West Coast, so it seemed like Oregon was pretty good, Southern Oregon. But here, this dirt isn't very good for much of anything, and I don't know how it would affect the other stuff, because I don't really think the loops really care about the soil conductivity that much.
Well, certainly nothing like a vertical, which is absolutely dependent on the ground. So, how long have you been in Arizona?
We moved here in 2017, and we watched everything quadruple since then. Yeah, I understand. Like I said, we moved out of Southern California 9 years ago, and it was the smartest thing we ever did. We sold our home, packed up the two Hondas, and put the cat in the back seat, and drove out here, and was just loving it. It was kind of a fun trip. We had perfect weather, and we both had 2 meters in the car, so we could coordinate meals and gas stops and etc. So we were just found our dream home here. Just love it. Ever? I guess it's probably pretty good over there. You don't have to worry about too much crazy weather. You're not really near Tornado Alley or anything. We were looking at different stuff, and we're like, oh, that's pretty cheap over there, And then, we realized, well, it's because, you might not have a house next year when the tornadoes come through. But we're sort of prepping to get out of here because this is rapidly turning like California. And I'm waiting to just kind of see if everything crashes. But Arizona doesn't pay really good, and I'm an out-of-work auto mechanic. And I don't really want to work for $16 an hour. And that's kind of what they want to pay for everything around here. And it's already to the point where the fast food people are knocking on the back door of those wages anyways. So everything is all just backwards. The house next door used to be $900 a month for people to rent. I think they're charging like $3,000 for it. We didn't used to have apartments here. Now we got apartments here. They're all $2,500. So people can't afford to live here unless they've sold all their stuff in California and then they move here and they don't need to work. But working people can't afford to live here because to rent a house is $3,000, and everything that cost $120,000 is $400,000 now, and they're getting bought up as soon as they go on the market anyways.
Yeah, I understand. So, Bram, what areas are you considering, over?
We were looking at Wyoming and Montana and stuff like that. Just get away from all the people. I don't want to be on a postage stamp with neighbors on all sides of me. I don't want to have to listen to my neighbor's dog bark, and watch tweakers walk down the road to the dope house at the end of the block. I don't want to deal with that anymore.
I fully understand. Well, I can certainly put in a good word for Georgia. the taxes are extremely low. Cost of living is extremely low, and I think the real estate is pretty darn good. But the state of Georgia really treats their people right. Exceedingly low taxes. Our property taxes are embarrassingly low. Pretty economical place to live. Howard?
Yeah, I would definitely need a piece of land, and I want a few acres, that's for sure. But I don't know what we're going to do here. This is my mother-in-law's house. I'm 47 years old, and I've got 14-year-old, 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old that's about to turn 5. And so her mom owns the house, and she's down in Sun City taking care of her mom that's like 85. So we're just kind of sitting here biding our time, because we know once all that goes through and she passes, and then, you know, things will change, and then I think her mom's going to want to sell this place then anyways. So we haven't quite figured it out yet, but it's good enough now, I guess, for the kids and stuff, although it's starting to kind of look like the border here, and I don't personally speak Spanish, and I feel a little uncomfortable living that way. So I'm not prejudiced or anything, but it just kind of, it's out of my comfort zone. Over.
Oh, I understand. Yes, I fully understand. That is difficult, and with all the kids, you have a serious responsibility, so you've got to make some good decisions. Well, nice talking with you, Bram. It's dinner time here. I've got to go, but I do hope we speak again, and really interested in your, you know, talking about the land and the people and the moves and retirement, et cetera, all interesting stuff to me. Over.
Yeah, I'll look for you here tomorrow about 2:50 Arizona time, because I have to be over here watching my youngest kid when she leaves to go get the other kid from school. And I'll look for you, and I'll have the loop back up in a loop, and then we can do kind of like see how it fares. Over.
Oh, I would like that. I'll tell you what. I have my email address on QRZ. So if you want to make a schedule, just drop me an email, and we'll do it. Over.
Okay, yeah, mine's on there too, and yeah, if you want to log me in QRZ, I always confirm everybody. So, yep, that'll work. Yeah, I got to get ready for dinner here too. It's about 4 o'clock. So enjoy your dinner, and we'll look for you tomorrow.
Yeah, drop me a line, and we'll do that. I'm having some soup tonight. We've got some venison soup, and some homemade bread, some homemade sourdough. So I know my wife is ready to eat.
QSL. All right, we'll catch you later. It was great talking to you, and hopefully tomorrow.
You bet. Whiskey Mike 6 Papa clear.
KG7HR clear.